Anybody here? Anybody's here? Say something on chat, please. No, I think that's me. Budapest. Wow. Hello? Cork! Edinburgh. Oh. Is London on here? I think there might be London right there. Let's go find that. London is on here. Liverpool? There's London. That's not what I thought it would be. Luxembourg? Hello? Is there anybody there? Hello? Anybody's there? Let me know in chat. I'm just browsing through some cities where I could start off with. I'd like to get a suggestion. I can go all American or I can go all Europe. Thought I saw somebody pop in, but I guess not. I think I'm gonna go somewhere in England. I'm not sure where, but They'll go. Interesting. Rome? That's too far south. Stop that. Porto. No, it's too far west. South Europe, England? Oxford. There's Paris. I didn't see that earlier. Nuremberg? Isn't that Germany? Nice. Ah. Lions? Oh, that's France. Liverpool. Let's go to Liverpool. I think I'm gonna do Liverpool. That might be why I struggled with him in the past. Because I'm unemotional. Let's go random. Nobody's here, so I'm just gonna go like this. close my eyes. Bing! I know I did. I have my eyes closed and then I hit A. So whatever it's selected, that's what I'm going to do. Because nobody's here to make a request. I would have let whoever here even make a request for who. I'm going to keep the initial funds at 3 million. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to put 3 competitors. Because I have a huge map. Hopefully it spreads this out. I don't know what my starting city is. Oh, I forgot. Hopefully I stayed in England. Well, I wish more people were here. Alright, I'm going to start where I'm at. Hopefully you all joined and you can follow along, and if I fail then I restart again while I'm still live, then maybe somebody then will give me a request. If somebody joins and I don't like where I'm at, then I will restart and go with what you request. Audience led, I just need an audience.
Good to see you. You have several competitors on this big
I am in
map,
Liverpool.
and I've written down some tasks for you to start with. Follow them to get the highest score possible.
I'm a lady. Told you I went random. I had no idea what I was choosing. Ladies aren't too bad. They all have their own. Actually, I'm going to pause so I don't lose out on any money. Go see who my lady is. It doesn't show me. I'm a lady and there's 3 gentlemen on my map. Alright, this could be interesting. I wanted to see what my bonuses were. I forget which lady this was. 96,000 just to connect to that cattle. It's not that far, so I will definitely do that. I'm definitely going to want to come here for these two, but I don't want to pay for it yet. Have anything that's in the white box, if anybody's here, nope, I don't see anybody, but this will be recorded. Anything in the white box, I have to pay to advance to those. So this is my initial territory. Tell me I can come here. Oh, yes. How much? How much? How much? 370. I like it. What about here? Corn. Nope. Go back. Come on. 470. Ooh, I have to go up here. All right. Fixing to go. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. This is new to me. I have not ever done the Europe, so I'm not sure in any terrain. I'm just going to kind of do what I've been doing in previous games. Nope, I don't want to do that either. It's going to be too tight. We should go like that. Oh, nope. Can't do anything yet. Ooh, that mountain looks ugly. Oh, man. That mountain looks ugly. I don't know if I'm going to ever go across that way. I might in the future. For now, I'm going to go this way. I always do 3 lanes coming in or before and after stations. 2 of those lanes will always be in, 1 lane will always be out. I'll explain here in a moment what that means. I always try to keep it as straight as possible, but if I have to bend it, then I look for the max. Right there tells me it's straight. I can go left or right at a slight angle, probably about 5 to 10 degrees, and it'll go back to max, but in between it will have slow speeds. You don't want slow speeds. Is it built yet? No, that's just a blueprint. I can have multiple blueprints. See, I'm not sure I like that yet, so then I go to 2. Notice the number in the window to the right went to 205. Then from here I can build, say, going forward to another. I'm not really that worried about it, so I'm going to build it, and you'll see me do that in the future. I'll have pre-planned different ideas. Let's see right here. Not sure what I want to do now. I'm going to change everything I was just thinking. probably end up rebuilding half these rails. Just get things started, get some money coming, and then rebuild it when I'm making money. So that's one rail. You always want at least two. Unless you know for a fact you only have one train on that rail, and I know I'm going to have more than that. But if it's like a supply in and out and nothing else will ever go there, and you just need one train between the supply and the city, then you can have just one rail, but most of the time you only need two. So this city coming, or this stop coming out of the cattle, will be one track exiting will be this one. Now I'm American. Oops, that's not what I want. I'm American, so all my rails go right side travel. I know in Europe they're probably different, but because I'm not in Europe, I'm not gonna play the Europe roadside way. If somebody was here and they requested me to, I probably would, but nobody's here at the moment. So that's what I'm doing there. So that kind of explains this station leaving, exiting, right lane. So then the left lane will have two coming in. So then I'll build an extra track and I will merge it. And I always go 12 miles out. I'll explain in a moment. Notice in the window to the right it says 12 miles. It's roughly the beginning of it. I try to get as close to the beginning, but I'm not going to worry about that too much detail now. So then after that I push forward until it reaches max. Once done, build Y3 lanes. Give me 1 second. So notice there's 2 lanes going into Liverpool, 1 lane exiting Liverpool. Now, all 3 of those lanes can be accessed by any train going in any direction at any time within the gridiron. So the white box is the gridiron. That's the minimum length for the gridiron for all 3 tracks. Now, if I decide to go only 2 tracks, I can go a lot less. So that's roughly 4 miles, give or take, game measurements. I'm not going to go out and improve it, but it's roughly 4 miles, 3 to 4 miles. So now if I go to 3 lanes, notice it won't do it until I get a little bit farther out. So that's roughly 7 or 8 miles. So I'm going to add that. I probably could have gone all the way to the curve where it starts to bend a little bit. But now I've got at least 4 mile stretch for this last track here, where a train can rest there if needed after the split, before the gridiron gate. So that way, if needed, a train can wait there or get stuck there. Another train can still pass on the middle lane, which is also going into the station. That's my theory. So once the train leaves, there's only 2 lanes, as long as the train doesn't get broke down or anything like that. It's fine. And then I come over here. Now, why don't I just do 3 lanes from station to station? Because the computer doesn't think enough which lane to use. It's always going to use the shortest track, always. So instead, I only do 3 lanes in the stations. And if there's one station platform already taken by a previous train, it will at least usually try to bypass. So again, 2 lanes. The 2s are fairly close to each other. There's not a whole lot of room. I'll probably end up fixing all that later, but that's kind of how I do things. So we get that gridiron. 2 in, 1 out. That's just setting up the tracks. I will continue that track beyond shortly. Excuse me, I did not need to belch like this, but you know, it happens. So I take the first train, set it in Hamilton, set it in Liverpool, go to the right. If I want, I can add a name. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm not gonna worry about a name right now, because I'll end up destroying that eventually. We are in 1830. I started at the earliest. Usually I don't like the earliest. I don't like the first trains on this game. They are old and classic, and I just don't like them. They're annoying. But because I started with you guys, if there's anybody here, I decided to start from the beginning just to show everything. But now we're just going to do freight. Come over here to Hamilton, tell it's going to pick up minimum 2, as much as it grabs. It's not going to even grab meat because it's not going to go anywhere else. But it'll have meat on stock when it's ready. And that's it. For that train, that's it. Oh, I gotta unpause it so it can move. That is definitely... Oh, yeah. So who are these guys? Well, one's the engineer. This guy looking like he's gonna drive the train, if that's what you want to call it. The other guy's called a stoker. A stoker is the guy who pretty much works the furnace. He's the one that's going to keep the engine hot so he can drive it. They will literally all be the same. Don't matter how many trains I have, they will always be the same 2 people. And then they don't do anything. You sit here and watch them the entire time, they're not doing anything. They're just animated to stand there and look like they're doing something, but they're not doing anything. They don't even grab buttons, shovel anything. I think the maker Calypso can edit that eventually. I'd like to think that they would improve that eventually and make it look like they are actually doing something. But that's just my opinion. See, I had one more, but I don't think they stuck around. Hopefully somebody joins and sticks around. So let's go look at the train. Cattle, moo. That's all it is. Cattle, 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 cattle. Guess where they're going? To slaughterhouse. Just about every game you'll ever start, your first few cities will almost always be close to meat. I mean, you can choose any city you want, but there's meat everywhere. There's cattle everywhere, and usually first cities will be processing meat. I am only going 13 miles an hour. Wow. So let's speed that up. I'm going to zoom out. You can watch the train from above as well. Go work on other stuff while this is working if you want. I'm going to go see what I can do in research. So this is my research tree. Your research tree too, when you start, it'll always be the same. I usually start in 1850, so I get past the slowest and most boring of the trains. For now, we are going to research. I have 200 innovation points. I can go get better seat upholstery. As you're reading the information to the right, increases the amount of passengers on my passenger trains. Not worried about that yet. Increases safety if I get the train whistle. Increases my ticket price for the passengers. Still not much. I'm just going to grab this rocket. Oh, I guess I already did that. Got that connection bonus. Got the beef to Liverpool. Let's go increase speed. Anybody hear it? No. So besides the 96 I made for the connection bonus from Hamilton to Liverpool, I also just made 16,000, I think, or 1600, 16,000. No, I I noticed the number. I can't remember how many zeros it was. So, oh, look, newspaper. These are all pretty much entertaining type newspapers. They're never really factual. They will make it sound factual. They will sometimes use factual events in real life, and they'll switch it around to make it sound entertaining. I've seen newspapers talk about the Civil War, and they're talking about people arguing across the street from each other. You know, whatever. And they make it sound entertaining, so people laugh at the article instead of, oh, they said that, that's rude, whatever. It's using historical facts to make entertaining, so there's not much you can really say about it. Man, that train is so slow. Speed up. Woo! Putt, putt, putt. I can't speed it up. Nope, not that button. Sorry, wrong button. Go here. I can pause the game anytime I want, but when you pause the game, you're not making money either. Keep the game running, you're making money. So spend wisely so you don't overspend yourself, and that way you're always in a surplus. And then I can go 1 or 3x, and then that will speed things up faster. I'm not going to leave it as that boring. I want to get up to this next city and the corn. So what I'm going to do is just literally come up here and jump up. This might be a dead-end city. I call them dead-end cities. Will be one way in and one way out. When it's that way, I usually will eventually add more stations or more platforms to one station. There's no reason to build 2 stations here if it's going to be one city. You can build up to 3 stations in one city. I use 2. One for freight, one for passenger. I don't worry about mixing or dividing them early on, but eventually I will have multiple stations, 2 stations in other cities. Passenger lines will eventually or most always ignore the supply stops, but if it goes through a supply stop, then usually I'll put a hotel there, hotel and restaurants in the supply stops. That way I can make money transferring passengers between routes without having the passenger train go all the way to a city. That's what the hotels are for. Passengers can transfer between rails. Also trying to match. Usually you want to match with the lines. See, that's why I always go to the line. When I'm looking at this, hold on. When I'm looking at this and when I'm trying to lay a station, I don't know. I can't really tell the altitude. I can't really tell the difference in altitude between the 2 stops and the stations. But if I go to this, put the lines on, I can tell the difference in altitude slightly. I can definitely see Carlisle is deeper in a valley. Looks like it's 3 lines difference. So there's 1, 2, 3 to the color I want here. So if I actually come down here, if I put the city here, or the station here, or the stop, that would likely be close to level. The closer I get in, the more lines it adds. See? Wonder how far I add more lines. I think that might be the. And then if I zoom out, it takes away more lines. So That's why I put those lines there. I think I'm going to put the city right. So it doesn't let the tracks cross the red, but it will build the station in the red, which is kind of weird. I don't know why either were, but I'm actually going to put way out here. Give me a chance. I need the at least 6 to 8 mile gridiron length for my 3 tracks, and I'll eventually build 6 tracks here. So I'm going to use this, as I mentioned. I'm going to have passengers stop here. So I'm going to put a hotel there. So if passengers are going to stop here, then the freight and passengers are going to be 2 different lines eventually. Not right away, but eventually. Again, 3 stations, 3 lines, or 3 tracks for 1 train line. I'm eventually going to make it 12 miles, but I wanted at least 8 miles in one direction. I want to make sure all 3 of these tracks are safely on this side without touching red, because they won't let me touch that red. Anybody joining me, go ahead and leave me a comment, say hello, and I'll text you back if I see anything. Let me know if you have a suggestion. I can always restart. Nobody was here, so I just kind of went with Liverpool as my headquarters city, my home city. And I'm currently in building out of Liverpool. So I can change that if anybody wants. I've got competitors here. I don't know where they are. I'm actually going to pause it, see where my competitors are, look for tracks of other colors. Hopefully nobody in the England area. It'd be nice to at least be able to take over all of UK without competition. If I have to, I'll eventually rule them out. Where? Oh, I got one right here. So somebody's up in Västerås. Västerås. Who that? Who that? Kesseltrunk. Fantastic. And then I could always go like this. Oh, it's not going to tell me. I thought it would tell me the city they're in. Basically, just look for any track that looks like it's developed from one city. That's how you kind of tell where they are. If you're like me and you want to know where your competition is, I like to know where my competition is as early as possible, so that I have an idea of what direction I need to build into. There's one right there. Barcelona. Flamingo Rail, Barcelona. If anybody's with me, say hello in the chat. I'll respond back. I'm not seeing any comments at the moment. Let me know if you want to see any cities specifically. I can always restart if you want me to start from the beginning, show you what I've been doing already. I can change cities for my home city if you want me to. Right now I'm just looking for competition, see where my competitors are. I found 2 of them. Looking for the third one. I started in Liverpool of London, or Liverpool of the United Kingdom, as my headquarters. I can also switch and go over to the North America. If anybody wants me to start over, I can start in North America. But again, I'm just trying to see where my competition is right now. I found two. I don't know where the third one is. It takes a minute to scan each city as you're scrolling over. So I'd already seen him. He's not a worry. Not worried about him. He's far enough away. Huh. I don't know where the third one is. There's three. I saw all three of them. Showed you guys the three I had. I saw. Where have I not checked? Looking for any kind of track sticking out of one of these cities. That's what I'm scrolling through. And usually the game likes to try to space them out. So I've got one down here, where Barcelona. I've got one in Barcelona, me in UK, and one up in. Oh hey, there's actual dots, colors on the dots. Maybe. Oh, where is that third one? Isn't he not built something yet? Take a moment, scan this map, see if any dot looks different color than what I've not found already. So there's two yellow dots. I'm looking for a third yellow dot in this map. I'm not seeing one. Why would I not put three competitors? Yes, if anybody's paying attention, I did play as a lady character. I don't care about genders on games. They're non-player characters, pretty much. I just control their abilities, so it doesn't matter. So I found this guy, and I found this guy, I think. He hasn't spent anything. So he hasn't even started yet. That's why I'm not finding him. Alright, I'll wait a little bit, come back and see if he's changed. Again, if anybody's here, say hello. Wave at me, do something, get my attention. I don't see anybody in chat. Shows I've had 7 views so far. Waiting to see what you guys would like to see me build. Anyway, so back to what I was doing. I'm just going to connect it to the city. Connect it to the city and then build it out. See what's going to... I don't like the way they suggest, but it's always going to give you the shortest possible distance of your route. Notice if I just went ahead and build that right now, look at the prices to the right. That tunnel alone is going to cost me $1.1 million. I'm like, no. No way you want to build all that, because I barely have 2.4 million. So yeah, you don't just want to take whatever the computer suggests. So you go and build it to your liking. So I'm going to stretch it out to its higher elevation. Don't always think the shortest track it's suggesting is the quickest way to and from places. Now I'm going to explain everything as far as speed later on. I don't necessarily suggest all that. So right now from Carlisle, if I said that right, if you're from London, you know how to pronounce these names and I say it wrong, or anywhere in Europe, go ahead and correct me. I don't mind corrections. But here in Carlisle, leaving Carlisle going up the hill, it's going to be a 3% grade going up the hill. But according to that, it still says that it'll be max speed. So as I'm going up the hill, 3% grade, then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to kind of stretch this out a little bit more. I don't want to drop too much farther into that canyon. Remember, anything going up also has to go down. I don't mind a few bridges here and there if they're effective bridges for me. You'll see as I develop more and more, I will eventually divide my passenger and freight lines separately. So when I do that, eventually I need freight lines to go above or below passenger and vice versa. And I'll start having more bridges for that. So a lot of times if I'm building, if I already know I'm going to put a bridge somewhere, or if I'm going to put a crossing somewhere, like right now this line I'm building is going to be passenger. I have no doubt about this is going to be a passenger. So later on when I decide to add freight, I'm not going to add any other stations. Freights will take up these last 3 or 4 slots of the rail. So I know that freight's going to be on this side, while passenger's going to be going on this side. So eventually freight's going to have to come back through. But knowing that passenger's passing on the right side of Clark's train as well, then I will likely bring my freight through these lines right here. There's no reason to cross there, especially if this station's picking up the goods here. So I have no reason to cross. I have no reason for a bridge anywhere on this hill. At the moment anyway, and that's not likely to change. Sooner or later I'm going to eventually build more passenger and coming up this way. So my rail will come up this way. Then I might end up choosing, I'll probably put a bridge right here across this gap. So I'm probably going to break from this and go this, and I'll have a bridge right there, but I'm not going to build it right now. So I'm not going to demonstrate it, but I'm just letting you know that that's kind of my thinking. If I put a bridge there, then any freight that's coming from this side wants to cross over will cross under that bridge so it can continue to connect. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. And then that way I can choose if the freight's going to go under then the freight can break off and come over here or come over here depending on how I build the passenger line and then the freight line added. Because I'm going to eventually, I'll likely put a hotel here because the passenger line will come close enough that I'll likely pass it through here. But again, I'm not doing all that right now. Now I'm just going to get Carlisle connected to Clark Station at the second train, second track, and then I can get it over to Liverpool and I can start putting passengers back and forth between Liverpool and Carlisle. Again, it's not going to build on that to you. It looks like to you guys, but since I already have a train track there, once I go and I build this and I connect it, it'll automatically run it alongside because that's what it's, both sides are on the same side of the track. Left here, left here. So it just runs it alongside, predicts the cost for me, tells me everything it's going to cost. I like it. Good to go. Build it. And then one more, as I told you, three lines before or after any station. I might do a fourth one for this one because it'll be a dead-end passenger station. When my dead ends, I'll end up putting 2 one direction and 2 the other. But for now, I'm just going to do the 3. Doesn't like that. Doesn't like that. Sometimes if it looks like I go too far, it's just I'm on a joystick on an Xbox with the Xbox controller. So bear with me sometimes if I overdo or over-exaggerate, push it too far, yada yada yada. This game is also available on PC. I don't have it on PC. It broadcasts through my PC when I'm on live. That's how I have my broadcast set up. As far as any of my technical problems I had earlier, I still don't understand what happened, but it had something to do with the broadcast. I lost the broadcast or something like that. So when I lost the broadcast, I had to reset it, and that's the first time that's happened to me. Come on, give it to me. It's making me work extra. No, not there. Come on. Oh, come on. Sometimes this will happen, and it's because it's in the middle of the bend. So I eventually, and I don't know why I canceled the track building, just not building the track I wanted to. So I'll stretch it out a little bit farther, put it right there, and then continue and see if that works. But I still want to try and get close to my max. Right now it's 42. It says max on, oh, there we go. Nope, not that. Don't want it to cross over. There we go. Beautiful. Build the gridiron, connect to Liverpool, and then we'll go ride this train. It'll be a slow ride though, but yeah, it's part of the game. Oh, that's far. Cattle are talking. I always wonder what my neighbor thinks if he hears all that on my speakers. This guy's got a farm in his house? Yes. Remember, straight in and straight out, you get max speed. If you have the right angle going left or right, you also have max speed. Otherwise, it's going to be a slower speed. So I always try to make sure it's max speed coming out. I prefer straight lines. I will work with bended angles or adjusted angles if I need to. But if I can get a good layout with the straight line, then I'll go with that first. Again, I'm not going to build that. Just looking at the layout of the terrain. Stretch it. I might stretch it way out to here. That's a far stretch. That is a far stretch. Might put it right there. Oh, problem with digging it so much is it leaves that on the outside. I don't like if it's too deep. But if I go that far, it still maintains max, but then when it goes too high, there's a bridge. So then I'm going to ask myself if I want a bridge there. No, I don't, but let's go ahead and stretch this first. That right there is probably going to be about 6 miles out before the bend. It'll still work. It's not what I want, but I'm going to go with it right now. Nope. I don't know why that happened. Whoa, slow down. Ah! You also want to double check the track when you're laying the parallel, because sometimes you think the first track that you lay has no bridges and tunnels, and be like, oh great, and then when you lay the parallel, if you don't check it first or prior, and you just build it, sometimes you'll find bridges and tunnels unexpectedly on the parallel. It will do that sometimes. And bridges and tunnels are usually automatic. You can change and adjust the height to fix it if you don't like it, but you always want to double check the parallel and make sure that it's what you wanted. Go back, lay the third track. Probably right there would be 12, I believe. Let's see if my guess is accurate. Again, overshot. That is only 10. That is 10 miles right there. Again, Y12, because it'll take about 8 for the gridiron and leave about 4 for the excess track. In case a fully loaded train needs to park, it will not block any side tracks next to it. That's what I typically do. 12. Come on, give me 12. Thank you. Anybody with me today at the moment? I still don't see any comments. I've seen a couple of views have added. Again, if anybody's catching me, there is a delay from when I'm seeing it on one screen before I see it on the YouTube screen. So you catching this post delay whenever you're hearing this comment. And so if that's the case, just make sure you try to stick around, leave a comment, tell me what you want to see. I can always restart. I started on my own because nobody was here. Why is it not giving this to me? Things don't work out, you can always destroy things as well. For whatever reason, sometimes there's a glitch. It just doesn't like what I'm doing. If it does, I just reset it. That could be because there's a bridge there. I don't see a bridge there. That doesn't make sense, but we'll go with that, and then we'll go with that. That's how you fix that problem. For whatever reason, it just did not like it going all the way to the track edge. Well, something about the angle, I don't know. I build it. As I was saying, just go ahead and leave a comment, say hello, let me know any kind of city you want me to see. Once again, I have started in Liverpool. I'll show you Liverpool in a moment. Get this gridiron built and then finish Liverpool. That's when I'm actually connecting. No, I'm not connecting. I'm connecting to the cattle before or after Liverpool. So that's typically about a 4-mile stretch right there before it bends. Once it bends, if the train is ever stuck, if it's too short, if this was like right here instead, and the train's tail end of the train was in that little bend area before the connecting, then it's enough that it would block the train. It would hold up another train on either side. So again, the extra track is just to allow a delay of trains to possibly park on either side and give other trains a chance to bypass. Hamilton. So as I explained earlier, and I know not some people might miss it, I do 12 miles gridiron or 12-mile extra track outside of a station to give 2 tracks in, 1 track out of every station in any direction. And yes, I am an American, so my roads here in America, it's always pass on the right. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Everything's pass on the right for me. Even though I'm playing a Europe map, I'm still sticking to the way I do things. If anybody's wondering. Gridiron. If anybody was here, made some suggestions, requested me to do something specific, I'd probably go with it just because that's what the customer wants, but nobody's here right now. So I don't have much of an audience to go off of. But if you guys stick around, start chatting with me on the channel, there is a delay between the voice and the recording, but I think the chat is live. So if you said something right now, I'd see it right now, and then I would say something back on text, and you would see it right away. I think. It's the first time. I'm new at this. Alright, so all that. Let's get a passenger from Carlisle to Liverpool, and then set up my corn. When I name my routes, I usually name them so I know what type of route it is. This will be a local, what I call local. And I just take a few letters or part of a name that I stick with on every time I use this city. I'm always going to name it Carl and Pool for Carlisle and Liverpool. So when I do that, then I take the alphabetical first letter of the name, and whatever's first, that's how I put it in the name. So Carl would go before Pool, but another name, I don't. Oh, so then I add local to that for local. For me, local is just between two cities and nothing else. And local will always carry goods as well as passengers and mail. It'll all make more sense once I've got a developed empire. It's not going to make a whole lot of sense to anybody right now. No. Alright, so it doesn't want me to... There's a mistake somewhere. I gotta find it. All that for nothing, huh? Because I didn't put a gridiron. See how important the gridirons are? I did not put the gridiron in Liverpool. So it gave no way for the train to enter or exit, and pass each other. That's what the gridirons do. Notice that the tracks between there's tracks going between. So the gridiron allows trains coming in and out to go to any track they need to, and other trains going out to go to any track they need to. So it allows them to pass each other. Without a gridiron, you can only have one train coming in on one track, and then that track is useless until that train gets off that track. Because of course we don't want any trains to crash. So that's why I couldn't finish that route setup. Now I gotta go back and do it again. I'll worry about the name later. Alright. For my locals, I keep it on automatic, so I let the train decide when it shows up what it needs, and it'll grab whatever it needs to take to the other city. I always put it on minimum. Eventually, I will put warehouses in every other city, typically, so at least one warehouse will at least touch one city, or every city will at least touch one warehouse, and I'll explain why later. But basically, I'll put my basic goods, the 6 top goods that I need in those warehouses, and then all the cities can be resupplied off of those warehouses. That's how I do it. Unpause. Let's go check out. Carlisle's going to take all fabric, not even grab people. Okay. Okay then. Man, it looks cold over there in England. Yeah, that is so old. That is old school. This is going to take a while. I'll speed it up. This is going to take a while because it's a heavy load of freight and it's one of the oldest trains. And it's trying to climb a hill. It's not even a hill. It's a slight climb to come out of the sea. You can see the incline right there. I think it was like 5 or 6 degrees or something. 5 or 6%. Anyway, speed that up. Nope, wrong button. Sorry about that. So that's at 3x. Take a minute, but that's at 3x. As I was telling you earlier, I already know that freight's going to come in and out of Carlisle in the same station. I'm probably not going to build anything on this side of the mountains. Maybe when like making $10 million a turn I might do that, but it's just going to be too expensive to put anything over there. So everything for Carlisle is going to come in and out on this side. So I'm not going to add any other station. It'll be a dead-end station. So if it's dead-end station, I'm going to just stick to these tracks. I'm going to go ahead and set up this freight for corn. Same way I've done passenger. About 12 miles out. And so this will be freight, and we'll put the freight on the left side. Passenger will be on the right. Just talking out loud how I'm going to set up the station. I'm going to use one station. I'm going to put a hotel here. If I didn't put a hotel here, I would only send my freight here, and the passenger line would literally bypass it when he would stop at the station. Because I'm going to put a hotel here, I'm going to put a passenger line through it as well. And I'm thinking objectively, I'm not necessarily thinking how to connect with the Carlisle track. I'm thinking where it's going to go after it connects. And I know that the passenger and the freight are going to continue going north. So I'm going to angle it like this because I want it to connect with the station coming out of Clark train station, as well as have enough room for the turn for Carlisle. Anybody with me at the moment? I've seen I had a few visitors. Wondering if anybody's been with me. It is almost 5 o'clock, so 10 minutes. Nobody's with me. Nobody says anything. I started late because of the problems, but I might be. I don't want to be too quick, but I might be quick to end it if anybody's not here by 5 o'clock my time. So I know freight is going to be on the right, as I was saying. Freight's on the right, then passengers are going to pass between these three. So the passenger will go straight to there and then connect and be able to passenger. Then that way the passenger will continue through Meckham to continue up here once I expand in that territory. I'm not going to expand right now, but I'm just telling you my thinking ahead process and how I'm thinking I'm going to expand. But for now, I'm just going to connect the freight. And that line coming out of Carlisle will connect here. As I do 3 lines total, 2 lines in, 1 line out. It's not, to me, it's not that I have to be specific on how many lines in and out, but I keep the consistency so that way I always do the same thing, and then that way there's never a conflict. Conflicts in this game are bad. And although you never have a conflict, I have never seen trains actually crash. The game won't allow them. So if it thinks it's going to be a conflict, you'll see a train stall and wait. And it'll literally just wait forever until it clears itself. Until the potential conflict dissipates. And there is no conflict. And then when the game thinks it's safe for a particular train to go, then it'll let it go. So you don't even want the assumption of a conflict to exist. There we go. I was trying to make that straight. Still waiting to see if any comments are going to show up. Seeing I've got plenty of visitors, hoping that somebody will say something, say hi, let me know what you'd like to see, if you wanted a specific city. I apologize for the delay earlier, but if anybody is here that wanted to see me start, go ahead and tell me now if you want to see a specific city. But I don't see that anybody's on, so. So this alone is freight. I already know that I will have freight come here. I know it's going to give me trouble. I know 12 miles is right about where that edge of that border is. I'm going to go beyond it because I know it's going to give me trouble with the bend. Try to get the bend for the conversion around that bend. It'll give me trouble. So I put the edge there, and then that way it won't even start the conversion until after the bend. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a moment. It's only red because I'm trying to go in the city. At the moment I'm not touching the city track or station until I actually connect, and I'll show you. If you notice down below, it'll tell you, oh, not even that. Tracks that start or end outside of a city must not touch a city. So unless I actually go to the city, you can't even touch the square around the city, the big white box. That big white bubble that's around it, not even a square. All this bubble that's surrounding Carlisle, you can't touch any of that bubble. Unless you're actually going to the city. That's what that means. So now that the edge of this is beyond, or just to the edge of the bend, this should be an easier transition. Whoa, too fast. I say that and it screws me up anyways. If I need to, I'll do what I did earlier. Go part way, show max. Probably still because of the bend. Probably ended too soon, too close to the bend. Just trying to avoid all that, but there it is. Let's get some corn to Carlisle. And eventually I will break this and I'll come this direction. And because the passenger, oh no, wait, nope, I'm right. Passengers are going to come across, there's a little canyon there we can't see, and the little canyon is going to come across that, and the passenger will connect right here. So the freight will go under that bridge and the freight will connect right here. Oh, I need gridiron. For getting the gridiron is not going to really do much. Again, as you noticed me earlier, I go to try to set up a route and I can't between two stops or stations because the gridiron is missing on one stop or the other. It won't do it. Once the gridiron is built, that's a lot more than 4 miles. Huh, I wonder if I can actually go shorten that up. If you don't like what you did, you can go ahead and delete. So I'm going to delete that all the way to the gridiron on that extra track. And then I'm going to go back and do 4 miles off the gridiron. Nope, not there. That looks a lot better. Shorter track, shorter cost. The other one's kind of stretched only because they bend, but I'll just keep it there for now anyway. Did I put this? Yes, I did. Oh, before you do a route, and I always forget to do this as well, and it screws it up because you'll realize one of these times you have a train on the wrong side of the track because it's going to take the shortest route no matter what. No matter what direction you wanted. If you don't set the direction, then it will always go the shortest route. So when it does that, then you'll have 2 trains, 3 trains, or whatever waiting for one train because one train is going against traffic. So if you don't set the direction, then when you discover it later on, you see, oh, that train's on the wrong side of the track. Why is it there? Oh, it's because I didn't set the directions. And when you actually go set the directions and the train's already there, it'll reset that train. But like, nope, can't do that. So it will send the train back to the beginning. So then you wasted the time and effort that train wasted before you reset it. You don't want to have to reset a train when it's already in the middle of the route because you're just losing out money. Not necessarily losing out money. You keep the money you had. It's just you're losing out money because of the time that it took to develop that train already. And then you reset it. That time is wasted, so that money was wasted. If that makes any sense. So there. Now I can set the corn going to Carlisle. Like so. I don't know where this music came from, but I don't like it. Anytime I know it's going to be dedicated freight, I'll go in and I'll throw it on freight. Especially with just one stop. I don't worry about. Just give it one. You don't want it to wait at stations waiting for goods when it doesn't need to. Choo choo. Chugga chugga. Choo choo. Chugga chugga. Choo choo. Well, that'll probably be it. It's 5 o'clock straight up. I don't see anybody currently on the channel. Didn't work out the way I wanted it, but that's okay. Next time. Stick around until I see this pass on the delay, and then I will likely say goodnight.